Hi guys, can you hear me? Always need to test the mic before I start talking, or before we start chatting. Can you hear me, guys? Excellent. Excellent, guys. I thought I'd do a little live chat just before Halloween, guys, because I've not actually videoed a video for YouTube in maybe 2 weeks or so because of moving house. I moved house a few days ago, so it's been all hectic for the past week or two. Any videos that I did put up online over the past week or so have been scheduled videos that I recorded when I was in my old house. So I'm just getting up to scratch and I'm going to start filming very soon. As you can see behind me, this isn't my studio. This is just a makeshift at the moment until I get things going again. And I'm testing out my internet as well. Obviously, because it's a new house, I don't know how good the internet's going to be in this new house compared to my last house. Because I'm looking at my output here, my video output is low, the stream is low. So I don't know why that is, because I'm getting good internet signal. So, don't know what's happening there. So if you get any questions, guys, or if you want to chat, let's have a discussion going about anything you want. Obviously horror related would be best. Talk about the move or whatever, I don't know. Let's just get a good chat going on. So let me have a look at the chat just now. A live chat. So, yep, blah, blah, blah. The G-Man, you've said, seen Halloween at the weekend, mate. Agree with you that there was some lazy writing, man. All in all, enjoyed it though. Yeah, I feel the exact same. There's a lot of lazy writing. I think some of it was intentionally lazy. It's kind of hard to explain, but some of it seemed intentional, but it just didn't really work. With Dr. Sartain, for example, some people liked that, but some people didn't. But yeah, overall, it was kind of lazy, but you can't argue that it was one of the best Halloween movies that we've had, so I did really like it. B. Mickey, you love the shoe rack. Not my shoes, it's the wife's shoes. Sadly, like I said, this is a makeshift room at the moment, just until I get my studio up and running. You've not seen the movie yet, Jordan? You're going to see it next week in Hamilton. I hope you enjoy it. Breves82, you've asked, do you think anything more than a sequel to this year's Halloween would be a bad idea? Anything more than a sequel? Do you mean like more than one sequel? I think it would be a bad idea to continue the story of this Michael Myers in this timeline to more than 2 or 3 movies. I think they've got enough in the engine for one more regarding the Michael Myers Laurie Strode storyline. But I hope they kind of branch out. But I know that people don't like a Halloween movie without Michael Myers, so I don't know how they're going to do that. It will be very clever if they manage to pull it off, but I just have no idea what they will be planning, if there's going to be more than one sequel. Westo Besto, are you asking what's everyone's favourite Saw movie? What's everybody's favourite Saw movie? Or a Saw movie? If you're asking what everybody's favourite Saw movie was, to me it was the first Saw. 2 and 3 were okay, but the first one was the best. Did I see Freddy on the show The Goldbergs? No, I don't watch The Goldbergs, but I did see the images of Robert Englund and the Freddy makeup. That's all I really needed to see, to be honest. I wouldn't quite get the show because I've not watched it. I've seen a few episodes here and there, but I don't watch it religiously. David King, so where would you like the next sequel to go? Again, I've no idea. I'd like it to pick up where it left off in 2018's Halloween, but I've really had no idea, to be honest. I automatically thought that something was going to happen to one of the Strode girls. So I think if they do have the same characters in the next movie, something will happen to at least one of them, for sure. The G-Man, guessing you're in Glasgow. Yes, I'm in Glasgow. Kiki, when will my studio be finished? It's not even started yet, to be honest. I've just moved in to the house. I'm just unpacking a lot of things. The studio in the loft that I'll be using, the attic as you Americans would say, I've got a studio in the attic ready, but it needs to get insulated properly and I need to get boards and things put on. I do know that if you put electricals up there or Blu-rays or anything and you don't have it properly insulated in the very cold weather and obviously the hot weather as well, you will damage your equipment and you'll damage your Blu-rays as well. So I don't want to do that just yet. I need to make sure it's all insulated first of all, and then I can start moving things up. Eric Muffman, I don't know if it's just you or somebody else has asked this same question, but you've asked, why does your channel name says Wolfman's Got Nards, but at the start of every video it says Wolfman's Got Cards? I couldn't answer that because I don't know what it is you're talking about. I don't know if it was maybe you asked this in the past. Nowhere does it say Wolfman's Got Cards, so I can't answer that one, buddy. Greetings, David James. I know you're all the way over in South Africa, so I'm glad you can make this live video. Westo Besto, you've said that Laurie was set up as such a badass, but she made a lot of plain dumb decisions. Yeah, I can agree with that as well, but she's going through the emotions as well, so she's not always there in the mind. She will make mistakes because she's so angry that Michael's getting out, or so angry that he's out, sorry. So yeah, she will make a few mistakes, but from what I heard, she was the one that caused the bus crash in the original cut, or what they were going to do in the original cut. So if they did do that, then that would be a major issue, or a major mistake, a major decision. Breves, yeah, I think if they do a reboot of Halloween, I'm not sure if you mean reboot as in we're going to have a young Michael Myers again. If they did an older Michael Myers like we have just now, yeah, I think they should change the storyline up a bit. Don't have Laurie Strode as the main character. They've already established that they're no longer brother and sister, so let them either kill Laurie and move on, and just go around killing random people like he did in the original. That's what my idea would have been for this Halloween. Maybe killing Laurie halfway through the movie and just moving on. I've not watched Dave McRae's review yet, Jordan. I think it's over an hour long as far as I can remember. I don't think any review needs to be an hour long. 20 or 30 minutes at most, and you can get a lot of information packed in that amount of time. So I've not watched that yet. I'll probably watch that eventually. I didn't watch anybody's reviews for the movie until I got my spoiler review and my non-spoiler review out there, because I didn't want to influence myself by watching other people's reviews. I'd rather get my own reviews out there first and my own views so that when I do watch other people's reviews and listen to them, I could maybe go, oh, I never thought of that. That's a good idea. I would maybe change that, and I've got different perspectives on things. I've watched most people's reviews that I do watch, but I've just not watched Dave McRae's yet, and I think it is because it's over an hour long, so I'll maybe get into that eventually. Jorge Lewis, you mentioned that Michael Myers killed 5 people back in 1978, but before they said 3. I don't know if that's maybe to put us off guard and make us question things. From the trailer it says 3. The documentary crew said 3 people were killed, and Laurie Strode said 3 people were killed, but then they rectified that in the movie to make it 5. I don't know why they done that. I don't know if it was a mistake or just a way to annoy the fans. Riley's movie reviews. Are you a fan of Star Wars, mate? I'm not a fan at all, to be honest. The original trilogy, I hated the original trilogy when I was a kid. I hated sci-fi when I was a kid. I just loved horror. And as I got older, I watched the Star Wars movies, and I actually thought they were okay. But I really liked The Force Awakens. I think The Force Awakens is my favourite. Well, my joint favourite Star Wars movie with A New Hope. But I'm not a major fan, so call me crazy. Michael R. I am also from Glasgow. Me too. Noah Kistner, have you heard about the new Friday the 13th produced by LeBron James? Yes, I've heard about this. I don't know how much LeBron James knows about Friday the 13th, or movies for that matter. It sounds like a strange idea for him to reboot the franchise. I think there's a lot better people who can bring the franchise forward, like Blumhouse. But yeah, LeBron James, I don't know. I know he's a basketball player, but apart from that, I think it's weird. Simon, how did you rate James Jude Courtney's role as Michael Myers? What was your favourite aspect of his portrayal? I think James Jude Courtney was one of the best Michael Myers that I've seen. I think a lot of people will agree. What was my favourite aspect of his portrayal? I think it's the simplicity in his portrayal of Michael Myers. It went back to basics. He killed people brutally as and when needed, and for his standards, and he was quiet. He was just standing there in the shadows, in plain sight as well, which was good because the original Michael Myers done that. And he just felt like a robotic person, just like Nick Castle, whereas the other Michael Myers in the series felt like they had too much character, and that's not what Michael Myers is all about. David James, any thoughts on how well Halloween is doing at the box office right now? Exceeding expectations? Is this week going to improve on week 2? I think it's exceeding expectations for a Halloween movie, obviously. But I think that some people were expecting It numbers, like 123 million in its first weekend. I think some of those people who predicted that may think that it's not exceeding expectations, but overall it's definitely exceeding expectations. I think it will hold strong in week 3, mainly because Halloween is coming up tomorrow. So a lot of people will go and see the movie during the week, so that'll bring the numbers up slightly. But I think after Halloween, the numbers will drop dramatically. No Dwyer. Since this is the second Halloween, shouldn't the next movie, if there's going to be a next one, be called a trilogy? Brilliant film. Kinda felt sorry for Michael looking up at the Strodes as the flames engulfed him. Yeah, I kind of felt sorry for him as well. I didn't feel sorry for him because I wanted him to survive or anything like that, but it's as if he waited 40 years just to get out and kill people, and he's looking up at Laurie Strode. The girl who got away the last time has managed to trap him, and he probably wasn't even thinking about Laurie Strode all these years as well. But I kind of felt sorry for him, but we all know that he survived because of the breathing at the end. As for a trilogy, it would be cool to make it its own trilogy if the third movie in that trilogy is a great send-off. Ben Grimm, do you notice watching horror in the daytime affects your mood towards a movie? I don't really know what you mean by that, but I feel like if I watch a good horror movie during the day, it spoils the horror movie. If I watch that same horror movie at night time, I enjoy it more. I think that's what you mean, and if it is, then yes, I agree. Nicola the Avenger, I don't know why, but when the reporters died, I felt kind of sad. I actually felt quite sad as well. I thought I was going to hate them in the movie and be happy that they were killed off, but I think their character development was one of the strongest in the film, and obviously the way they were killed was quite sad for them. So yeah, I felt sorry for them. Kevin Brock, when are they going to update Rosemary's Baby? Well, it's a 1960s movie, so they probably should have already updated it by now if they were going to do a remake of it. But because there are lots of Stephen King novels and things coming out, is that a Stephen King novel? Is that Stephen King? Let's pretend it's Stephen King. Stephen King novels are getting redone recently, so yeah, I think Rosemary's Baby may eventually get a remake. Is that Stephen King? Anyway. Yeah, I'd like to see Michael kill Laurie and Karen as well, and just have Alison left. Or maybe kill Alison off and Karen, and have Laurie at the end, just totally broken. I'd be a bit sick, but I think it'd be quite funny. No, I don't even mean that. It's not. It wouldn't be funny at all. Yeah, even if LeBron James did love Friday the 13th and he owned a production company, I don't know if he knows what it takes to make a franchise movie. So I think if you're going to give it to anybody, Blumhouse would be the obvious one. I mean, I love Friday the 13th, but that doesn't mean I can make a good Friday the 13th movie, especially one that I would want to set up for a new franchise. And yeah, A Nightmare on Elm Street, I think they're all going to come back. I mean, Halloween's already made 172 million at the worldwide box office, so it's only obvious that A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th are going to follow suit. Yeah, Michael King. There is hope for the Friday the 13th franchise, surely. And same for all the other franchises that have been dead and buried for years. Yeah, David James, I think they did mention in the trailer 3 teenagers were killed on Halloween night or on Halloween or back in 1978, which is kind of true. But in that exact scene where she said 3 people were killed, that was changed in the final cut to 5 people. You can see like the same scene. But yeah, they cut the 3 teenagers scene by the documentary crew from the final cut of the movie. Jorge Lewis, it wasn't just Annie, Bob, Linda and the mechanic. In 1978 he did kill 4 people, but 5 people in total if you include his sister in 1963. James O'Hara, hope the gaff is working out, thank you very much. Here's a question, what has Michael got against garage mechanics? Maybe he just likes the suit, or he's just in the right place at the right time, unfortunately for the mechanics. Maybe he wants to be a mechanic. Do I think David Gordon Green and Danny McBride should reboot another horror franchise? No, I don't think so. I think that they've done a good job with Halloween, and I don't think they should try and do other ones in case they fail. They've done one, it was successful, and I think they should move on. Michael R, when do you think the Blu-ray will be released? End of January, mid-February, yeah, I think around about that time as well, end of January time. Look out for the Blu-ray for the new Halloween, because like I said to a few people, not to everybody, I've not actually said this out loud yet, but apparently and hopefully I'm going to be on the special features of the new Blu-ray for Halloween. I was interviewed by Universal for the Blu-ray, giving my thoughts on the horror genre, so I'm hoping that my interview makes it to the final Blu-ray, so look out for that. One more day to Halloween. Silver Shamrock. I kind of also agree that Tyler Mane was really scary. He said he was the scariest Michael Myers. Yeah, I think it was, to me personally. It wasn't the best Michael Myers, but it was the scariest. If I had to line up every Michael Myers and choose one not to run up against, it would be Tyler Mane's Michael Myers. What would I rate the movie out of 10? Assuming you're talking about Halloween, the new one. I think between a 7 and an 8. I'll probably say 7.5 out of 10. And I'm a huge Halloween fan. I'm very critical of the Halloween movies. But I would give it a solid 7.5. My favourite horror movie of all time, Westel Bestel, is the original Halloween. I wouldn't class a TV movie as an actual movie, Ben Grimm. So if you've done a TV movie about 10 years ago of Rosemary's Baby, I wouldn't even count that, to be honest. Rosemary's Baby was written by Ira Levin. Oh well then, it's not Stephen King. Big screen baby, yep. Don't think they should make a sequel to Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I think they should make sequels like Season of the Witch. Maybe even spin-off movies. Don't call it Halloween. Maybe call it, for example, Season of the Witch, a Halloween series or something like that. I think that would be more acceptable to fans, knowing that they're going into the movie not seeing Michael Myers. Adam Wright, I still think it will make around about $240 to $250 million. That was my final predictions before the first weekend. So I think, let's say a maximum of $250 million worldwide. If it makes any more than that, fantastic. There's no mention of Laurie's parents in this new movie, but regardless of what happened in the original Halloween 2, that doesn't matter. Maybe her parents just passed away peacefully. Or maybe they had a hard time because she was chased by a maniac when she was just 17. What do I think happened to the original Michael Myers mask? Is it not still around? I thought somebody had it and it was just really torn up badly because it's latex and it's 40 years old. I could be wrong. HMV are doing a steel disc 4K exclusive. I'll probably purchase it because it is Halloween, but I'm not a big steelbook fan. I sold about 500 to 600 steelbooks a few years ago. I just was scunnered with them all. There was too many steelbooks out there, too many movies getting steelbook releases for absolutely no reason but to make money. So I just stopped collecting steelbooks, to be honest. But yeah, if it's Halloween, I'll probably get it. You liked Kane Hodder's Jason, Sinnerhat. I think Kane Hodder was the worst Jason. Just a personal opinion. In fact, Kane Hodder featured in some of the worst Friday the 13th movies. So what does that tell you? James O'Hara, I think there's so many versions of Halloween on Blu-ray that I can't even remember which one features those extra scenes. As I think you maybe meaning the television series, sorry, the television version. I can't remember. I've got them all on Blu-ray as well. David James, what do you consider the scariest horror movie of all time? It depends what you think scary is, because some people think ghost movies are scary, some people think werewolf movies are scary, some people think psychopath movies are scary. For me, I think two of the scariest movies for me, off the top of my head, are The Exorcist and An American Werewolf in London. I'd probably say American Werewolf in London is the scariest. I had a fear of werewolves when I was a kid. And there's a little lane down where I live, even now, because I'm back in the old street that I used to be in. There's a little lane that I used to have a dream about, that I would get halfway down the lane and a werewolf would be coming, chasing me, and I can't go forward because the werewolf's there, and I can't go back because it's too far back, so I'm having to run, and because it's a dream, I'm running in slow motion. So yeah, werewolves really scared me as a kid, and I think because of that, An American Werewolf in London is the scariest movie of all time for me. What do you think happened to Loomis in this new timeline? I think he just passed away of old age. They didn't mention how he died. They didn't say when he died either. So yeah, I think he just died of old age. If he died of any different circumstances, I think they would have mentioned that in the movie. Do I think Michael will speak in the next movie? No, no chance. I think they made that huge mistake in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 when he said to Dr. Loomis, die. I think that was the most ridiculous scene. One of the most ridiculous scenes in the whole entire franchise. I think it rivals the Freddy scenes from Halloween Resurrection when he's karate chopping Michael Myers. James McGarvey, top 3 Halloween movie themes, as in like any Halloween movie. It's got to be The Exorcist, Halloween, and I'd like to say Jaws, but it's not really horror for me, and it's a PG as well. So I'll say The Exorcist, Halloween, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that do 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 do. I think that's quite scary. I hope we get a director's cut of Halloween, so I want to see this whole ending that was completely reshot. I'd like to see how that ended, because I know that the test audience didn't like it, but the test audience is very small. Maybe if they showed it to the masses, there would be a different opinion on it. I really hope you get 1 million subscribers, because your videos are really good. Thanks very much, first of all. 1 million subscribers ain't ever going to happen. Not in my lifetime anyway. I'd be happy to get 50,000 subscribers. In fact, if I got 100,000 subscribers, then my life would be complete. So share my channel. What would be your top 3 horror movies you would remake? I would remake An American Werewolf in London, not because I didn't like it. I absolutely loved An American Werewolf in London. All the more reason to remake it because I want to see other people's visions of it. One thing I would remake that isn't even a movie is a music video, and that is Michael Jackson's Thriller. I wouldn't make it a music video, I would make it a feature-length movie. I'd love to see it, a feature-length take on that. That would be fantastic. So Michael Jackson's Thriller, An American Werewolf in London, and I would maybe like to see a remake of House from 1986. Loved House again, but I'd like to see somebody remaking it and giving it a modern twist. Have you seen John Carpenter's The Fog? You should review it. Yes, I've seen The Fog. I love The Fog. I will review that eventually because I'm going through the John Carpenter movies at the moment. So eventually I will get onto that one. Hey Wolfman, do you think Michael's middle name is silly? Audrey? No, why? Everybody, not everybody, but people have middle names. If you haven't already, will you do a breakdown of the Monster Squad, considering it's where you got your channel name from? When I started the channel, or when I started doing movie reviews, I actually done a movie review of the Monster Squad. I didn't have good lighting, I didn't have a good microphone or anything like that. So I will revisit it. I will revisit the Monster Squad, and I'll do the best I can with it when I get everything set up. But yes, I'm definitely going to go back to the Monster Squad. I'll probably do a review for the documentary that just came out, called Wolfman's Got Nards. So I will review the documentary around about the same time as I do a re-review of the Monster Squad. Do I think the movie should be called David Gordon Green's Halloween? No, not at all. I think the only people that deserve to have their name above the title is John Carpenter, David Fincher and Christopher Nolan in this world anyway, in this era, this generation. Maybe Quentin Tarantino, but I think a lot of his stuff is a bit overrated. But yeah. Has a sequel been confirmed yet? No, it's not been confirmed, but I think because of the 77 million or so in the first weekend, that basically sealed the deal. Don't know if there's any horror convention type things in Glasgow, and have ever been to any. There's not much happening in Glasgow, to be honest. I think there was one in Edinburgh back in May, one that I couldn't make, but they're few and far between in Scotland, never mind Glasgow. Grant Sutherland, hi Barry. Halloween 4 through Resurrection. How do you think they might have fared if the classic Carpenter score had been used to enhance the movies? Well, they already used some of the score in Halloween 4 and Halloween 6, I believe, the producer's cut. Or was it a theatrical cut? No, the producer's cut. And they still didn't fare too well. I loved Halloween 4 anyway, but I don't think the score would have made the difference for the movies. Maybe certain scenes. But overall, some of the movies that were that bad, score wouldn't have saved them. What did I think of An American Werewolf in Paris? A lot of people hate American Werewolf in Paris, but me personally, I really like it. I love American Werewolf in London, so I think a sequel to that I was just so excited for. So when I saw it, it wasn't the best movie, but I still enjoyed it. I think there was good acting, some comedy moments in it as well, which they had in the original one in London. So yeah, I quite liked American Werewolf in Paris. I love The Fog, hate the remake. Do you know what? I don't hate remakes, but when I watched the Fog remake, I only got half an hour into it and I had to turn it off because it was so bad. So I actually haven't seen all of the remake. I'm pretty sure it's probably just as bad as most people say, so I'm not even going to bother with the rest of that remake. John Doherty got a recording of The Shape hunts Alison from when John Carpenter played a few weeks ago. Need to get it out there somehow. You'll be a little bit late, John, because I think a lot of people have actually uploaded that. And it's also available on the soundtrack as well. The Shape hunts Alison is one of the best pieces on any John Carpenter score. It's great. So scary as well. Do I think we'll ever get an alternate ending or get to see the alternate ending to the Halloween 2018 movie? Yeah, hopefully. I was just mentioning that a little bit ago. The Fog is in cinemas again for one night only tomorrow. I think it depends where you are. I think The Fog's coming out, Escape from New York's coming out, and Prince of Darkness is also coming out in the cinema. I think they're just celebrating the 4K releases of the John Carpenter movies. How groovy would a modern version of The Birds be? I really like The Birds, so yeah, I'd like to see a remake of that. Maybe not a shot-for-shot remake like they did with Psycho, but I'd like to see The Birds getting remade. Have I seen Stitches, a British-Irish horror comedy? I didn't expect much, but I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I liked Stitches. I thought it was really good. I was surprised by it as well. Some really scary moments, and I liked the eeriness of some of the set design. Yeah, I really like Stitches. Wolfman, will you ever do a jack-o'-lantern that looks like the original jack-o'-lantern from the original Halloween? Probably not, so because I'm not that skillful. However, they do sell replicas of that pumpkin shape, plastic ones, and I'll probably buy one of those for maybe a backdrop for future videos. So I'm not going to do my own jack-o'-lantern for it, but I will probably buy one of the plastic ones. James McGarvey, can you rank the Michael Myers masks? I guess you're not a subscriber, because that's my latest video. Check it out. In fact, I've done it twice. Oh my bad, I'm new to the channel. No problem, James. Check out the video anyway. You'll probably disagree with me, but it'll be a good debate. Hey Barry, would you like to see a sequel to David Robert Mitchell's It Follows? If so, what would you like to see there? No, I wouldn't like to see a sequel to that. I think it ended perfectly. It Follows is one of the best horror movies of all time for me, and I've always said that David Robert Mitchell should direct a Halloween movie. So if they have to change it up and don't have David Gordon Green back, I think the best replacement would be David Robert Mitchell. Same goes for the score. If they can't get John Carpenter back, then bring on Disasterpeace, who done the soundtrack for It Follows. David Robert Mitchell's direction, Disasterpeace's score, you'll have a great Halloween movie already. Do you reckon John Cena could get cast in the new Halloween sequel after what he posted on his Instagram story? I don't know what he wrote on his Instagram. I don't follow John Cena. I think he's a generic bad actor. Hopefully he's not in a Halloween movie. Otherwise we'll have a new Busta Rhymes. Yeah, I think Jamie Lee Curtis will do another Halloween movie. I think if the money's right. She's not getting a lot of roles in a lot of films. How weird is this though? Her next movie, I can't remember what it's called, but it's directed by the director of Halloween 6. Think about that one. You should definitely do more live videos. I will, Adam. I think once I've got everything sorted with my new house, I'll maybe try and get some scheduled live videos happening so that more people who do subscribe to me know when to come on and have a chat. What did you think of The Ward? I enjoyed The Ward. A lot of people said that they think that The Ward is the worst John Carpenter movie, and I disagree with that because he's made a few stinkers. But The Ward was okay. Good cast as well. Do you think there's any way they could have made the Thorn storyline work well? Yes, I do. Have it as a separate movie without Michael Myers, like Season of the Witch, because it went that kind of direction. Nothing to do with Michael Myers. So yeah, if you want to do a Thorn storyline, you can maybe do a Thorn movie without Michael Myers. That would be a good nod to Michael Myers. Do you think they showed too much of Myers without the mask in the first part of the new movie? Not really. I can see where you're coming from because you do see the side and back of his head, but I think the fact that you couldn't see his face, it didn't annoy me, but you're kind of like, oh, I want to see his face. It made you want to see more of his face, and the fact that you couldn't see his face, I think that was quite really well done. What do you think of the Hatchet movies? I enjoy the Hatchet movies for what they are. They're really silly. But I'd done a ranking of the Hatchet movies a while ago. I'll have to rewatch them again, but I quite enjoyed some of them. Hey Wolfman, can I call you Barry? Yes, that's my name, guys. Wolfman's Got Nards is just my channel name. My name is Barry. Yeah, you can call me Barry. Any interest in reviewing Reanimator? I do have an interest in reviewing I do have an interest in reviewing Reanimator. Not quite yet. For those of you who don't know, I have a Patreon account. Depending on what tier you choose, I think it is the £10 tier, I'm sure. You can request a review of any horror movie of your choice, as long as it's not pornographic and as long as it's not a horror movie I've just recently reviewed, but everything else is out there. One of the guys in the chat just now, David, he has requested that I review Slither, and he's very kindly sent me a copy of Slither to watch and review for my channel. That will be up in November at some point once I get everything sorted. So yeah, if you've got any requests, you can always become a patron and request a movie for me to review. Do you think Michael was really going after Laurie in the new film, or did they just cross paths by accident? I'd like to think that they crossed paths by accident. I could see her hunting him, but after 40 years, I would hope that Michael forgot about Laurie. I know that the doctor was saying that he'll never forget her because he wants to finish the job, etc. But I would like to think that he doesn't care. She was just somebody that he didn't kill, and that was it. So I would hope that they crossed paths by accident, or he crossed her path by accident. Because if he comes out after her, there's no point in having them not brother and sister. Just keep them brother and sister because they're still wanting to kill each other. I thought the whole idea was to make it different. They're not brother and sister, so there's no reason for him to go after her. Yep, It Follows was really good. One of my favourite horror movies. I don't know if they're talking about remaking The Exorcist. We did have the 2005 or 2004 Exorcist movie that didn't turn out the way it's supposed to did. It's supposed to. They actually reshot most of that movie and brought out a separate version of the film and called it something different, Exorcist The Beginning. But none of those movies quite worked out the way we wanted them to. What would you have done to follow up H2O? nothing. I think that would have been the end of the road for Michael Myers. It was a perfect ending to that timeline. I think the best thing to do would have been to reboot after H2O. Back in 1998 to 2002, they didn't have that sort of idea that they do these days with like the DC movies. You would have like the Dark Knight trilogy, and there's no issue with rebooting it afterwards, after it's finished. I think if they had those kind of ideas back in 98, they would have had no problem but to kill off Michael Myers in H2O and reboot it, not remake it, but reboot it in a few years' time with a different idea. Keeping the Michael Myers character going. Kevin Bacon is Freddy Krueger. I don't think Kevin Bacon should be Freddy Krueger. The reason being is because Robert Englund's decided to hang up the glove because he's getting too old. So there's no point in putting somebody who's only 9 years or so younger than him to play Freddy Krueger. You want somebody young, somebody in their 30s to play Freddy Krueger, so you know you've got that character or that actor for a good 20 years. Having Kevin Bacon, you're probably only going to get 1 or 2 movies. I'm hoping Halloween doesn't turn into a cash cow like Saw and Paranormal Activity. Well, it is Blumhouse, so they will churn out sequels as long as it's making money, but I hope that doesn't happen. Have I seen Terrifier? Yes. I actually done a movie review for Terrifier a few months ago. It's quite a good independent horror movie. Jamie Lee Curtis's movie with the Halloween 6 director, An Acceptable Loss it's called. Yeah, so that's a bit strange. I wonder what conversation she has with this guy, because she said that Halloween 6 was terrible. So it'll be a bit, I think it's Joe Chappelle that directed Halloween 6. So they must have good conversations with each other. Apparently, Justin, wait, I can request a review. As long as you're on a specific tier, Justin, you need to double check that. I think it's the £10 tier, I'm sure. But double check it. And if you are on that tier, then yes, you can request me to review any horror movie of your choice, good or bad, and I'll be honest with the movie. Kevin the Flash, what's your opinion on Psycho? I would love to see your review on it. In my opinion, Psycho is the best horror movie of all time. Maybe even one of the best movies of all time. I love Psycho. I loved Bates Motel, the TV show. I think that honoured Psycho pretty well. More so than some of the Psycho sequels. So yeah. And if you're saying you'd love to see my review on it, you could always become a Patreon and request it. Have you seen a Serbian film? Yes, unfortunately. That's all I really say about it. I think it was an unnecessary movie. There's no reason to do what they did in that film. Just a sick movie. Do you watch any horror TV shows like Wolf Creek, The Purge or Bates Motel? Well, I just mentioned Bates Motel there. I've not seen Wolf Creek TV show yet or The Purge. I'm quite interested in the Wolf Creek TV show though, because I do like the 2 movies that they brought out. So I'll probably give that a watch eventually. The Purge I'm not too interested in. The Purge 2 I really liked. Have I seen Alice Sweet Alice? No, I haven't seen that yet. I've got it, I've just not watched it yet. Barry, what do you think about Luxie with Dead Meat? Not seen that before. Is it a TV show? Or is it a YouTube show or something? I've not seen it yet though. David Anderson, hope your move went well. Can't wait to see your new backdrop. Let's hope I get it sorted eventually. I was just mentioning to some of the guys, if you're just joined us, David, that I need to get it all insulated first, get it all panelled and insulated before I start putting things up there, because I don't want my electrics to get ruined or my Blu-rays or anything like that. So once it's secure and ventilated properly, then I'll start moving things up there. In the meantime, I'm going to have to make some makeshift studio spaces in the house. I don't think Robert Englund will come back as Freddy Krueger. No chance. I think if he needs the money, he will, but I don't think he should. I think he's hung up his glove. There's no turning back for me. He's too old. I've not watched I've not watched The Haunting of Hill House yet on Netflix. It does look good though. Justin, if you're on the £10 tier, then yep, you can start requesting. Don't request it in this live chat though. Send me a Patreon request. That's the best way to do it. That's what David James does. Recognition 360 has asked, have you seen the new Halloween 2018 and what you think about it? Kevin the Flash, I will definitely donate £100 just for Psycho. Oh yeah. You must be rich, Kevin. What upcoming horror movie are you most looking forward to? Pet Sematary maybe? Absolutely, David. That's probably my most anticipated movie after Halloween. So yeah, Pet Sematary. After Pet Sematary, it's got to be It Chapter 2. Castle Rock, yep. Have you watched Castle Rock? Yes, I have watched Castle Rock. I was a little bit disappointed by it. I was expecting a little bit more. I think a lot of the story went nowhere. I like the little nods to some of the Stephen King books. I hope if there's a season 2, it has a massive improvement. The best character and the best actor in it was Sissy Spacek though. Would I like to see a Scream 5 movie? Yes, I'm a huge fan of the Scream franchise. I love Scream 4. Some people slated that movie. Yeah, I love the Scream franchise. I even like the Scream TV show. So yeah, I'm hopeful that there will be a Scream 5 or a Scream reboot at least. Sinner Heart has said, watch Scarecrow's 1988. You might enjoy it. I love Scarecrows, so there's no question of whether I might enjoy it. I absolutely love it. Justin, so I can request anything from the bottom of the barrel horror to classics? Yes, you can. You should also make it a good one though, because there's no point in requesting horror movies that you probably won't even be interested in me reviewing. So make sure it's maybe a horror movie you've seen, so that you know what I'm talking about. Adam Wright, are you going to move on to other franchises now Halloween will go quiet? I'd love to see your views on Friday the 13th series, Nightmare on Elm Street series and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I currently do that anyway, Adam. I think the only reason I've been discussing Halloween is because it was coming out. But yeah, I always do talk about other horror movies anyway. I'm going to be doing a lot of Stephen King stuff in 2019. Obviously, we've got Pet Sematary and It Chapter 2 coming out. So I'm going to be very Stephen King heavy in 2019. Are you going to watch Overlord movie? Yes, I will watch it, only because Kurt Russell's son's in it. And it does look a little bit like The Thing as well. Would you consider reviewing horror TV shows in the future? I reviewed, again, this was way back before I started making this a bigger thing. I reviewed Stranger Things Season 2 a while ago. But yeah, I'm up for doing horror TV shows in the future, but it would take a little bit more time to do that. Is The Burning any good, Barry? Yeah, I think The Burning is better than Friday the 13th. If you've not seen it, it's definitely worth a watch. Dark Night of the Scarecrow is a good movie to watch on Halloween. Yep, absolutely agree. It's a really eerie horror movie from 1980 or 1981. Have you ever seen the movie From Dusk Till Dawn? Yes, of course. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. Doctor Sleep, coming in 2020. It's about Danny from The Shining. I actually thought the Shining part of Danny was a bit boring. It's just an opinion, but I think the best parts were with Jack Nicholson, obviously. Yeah, I think, Adam, I'll be doing that in the future. Like, I'll be doing the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise week by week, and the Friday the 13th I've already done. Done that back in July, I think, on the lead up to Friday the 13th in July. I've not seen Eli Roth's History of Horror series yet, but I've heard good things about it. Not seen Holliston by Adam Green, but I do like Adam Green. I think Adam Green's best movie is Frozen. It's a great movie. Do I think the Halloween trailers gave too much away? They showed most of the surprise kills. No, I don't think they gave anything away, to be honest. I think the kills that they showed in the trailer were obvious ones that we knew were going to happen. And half the trailer wasn't even in the movie anyway, because most of that was cut from trailer 1. So I don't think it gave much away. I think some things were still a mystery before we went in to watch the movie. I like the off-screen kills. You're saying that you don't like some of the off-screen kills. I think that was necessary for me anyway. I like to imagine the kill in my head. Barry, will you ever do another video on Marvel? Yeah, I mean, 99% of my stuff is horror, but I will venture into big movies from time to time. I'll more than likely review Marvel's Avengers coming out in May. So yeah, I will venture into other things now and again. I'm not interested in the Hostel movies. I think Hostel was more about how sick they can be rather than how much of a storyline there was. Hostel was okay, but Hostel 2 and 3 were a bit over the top. So I'm not really fussed with Hostel, to be honest. What is your favourite Michael Myers kill? Kevin, you need to watch my channel, because I've already done that. So look out for my videos. I do have my favourite kills. It's my top 10 kills in the franchise. What would you say is the most overhyped horror film you've seen? Most overhyped is probably The Shining, which I just watched for the first time recently. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I think it's a great movie, but I think it's the most overhyped for me, because I was getting into it thinking it was going to be the best horror movie of all time, because that's what I've been told time and time again. But personally, I don't think it was. Yeah, they should definitely do another Blade movie. I love Blade. Not sure what my favourite kill in the new Halloween movie is yet. I've seen it twice and I've still not quite processed it all. I think I'll add. Well, I've not updated my list of favourite Halloween movies with the 2018 movie included in it yet, or kills with the 2018 movie in it yet. I think I'll give that time before I decide. Will I ever review Creed 2? Probably not. It's not my style of movie to review on my channel. I will go and see it though. I loved Creed. I loved Rocky Balboa. I love Rocky 4. So I'll definitely see Creed 2 and maybe give my thoughts on it on my social media. But I probably won't do a movie review for it. What's my favourite Halloween timeline? Because we don't know what's going to happen with the timeline from 2018, at the moment I would probably say my favourite timeline is Halloween 1, Halloween 2 from 1981, and Halloween H2O. That's a great trilogy. Would you like to see a Thing sequel with a young CGI Kurt Russell? Yeah, be quite cool, like what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So yeah, I'd love to see a Thing movie with Kurt Russell in it again. What about Wolf? Should they do a remake? I didn't even like Wolf, to be honest. So yeah, remake that shit. Most influential horror director, Craven or Carpenter? Or Hitchcock or someone else? To me, it's probably Carpenter, because John Carpenter directed 2 of my favourite horror movies. So... and actually he directed 3 of my favourite movies. In my top 10 movies of all time, 3 of John Carpenter movies are in that. So I think Carpenter for me, personally. Have you got any horror tattoos? I'm currently in the middle of a horror sleeve. No, I'm thinking about getting though. I've got a tattoo just now. It's not horror related, but it's from Heroes. Can you see that? I got it back in 2007 when Heroes was big. Do you think Michael is still alive? Yep. I think he's breathing. Confirmed that at the end. What's the worst horror remake in your opinion? I think the worst horror remake in my opinion, again, is probably The Fog. What was the first Halloween movie you saw in theatres? The first Halloween movie I saw in theatres was Rob Zombie's Halloween, because of the age I am. No, I didn't like the new Doctor at all, Dr. Sartain. They should have called him Dr. Fartain. Heard they're doing a new Hellraiser. If you mean Hellraiser, I don't care. I think Hellraiser's a terrible franchise. Or a terrible series. Just didn't like it at all. Dr. Shartstain. Dr. Shitstain, yeah. Do you think it was a wise choice to kill off Apollo Creed in Rocky 4? I would say so, yes, now, because we've got Creed and Creed 2, but if that didn't happen in Rocky 4, we probably wouldn't have a Creed or Creed 2. What do you think of Jigsaw getting a sequel? Not even seen Jigsaw. I've lost interest in the Saw franchise completely. Jorge Luis, I couldn't see H2O back in the theatres in 1998. I was only 14 at the time, and I wasn't allowed in because it was an 18. What Halloween films did not make the theatres in the UK? Well, I think the only ones that got theatrical releases in the UK were Halloween 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection, and the Rob Zombie movies. Yeah, I think a lot of the nods and throwbacks of the original Halloween and the new Halloween were a little bit cringy. That was one of them, when she looked out the window and saw her grandmother. What's your favourite Victor Crowley look? I'd probably say the fourth movie, Victor Crowley. I think it's probably my favourite one. Favourite look. I think the first movie is my favourite in the franchise, but I think my favourite look is from the fourth one. I've never seen Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things before. It's another one I've got, just never got around to watching. Anyway guys, that's now 25 to 11 at night. I'm up early in the morning, so I think it's about time that I say my goodbyes for the night. Just thought I'd do a little live chat before Halloween tomorrow, because I'm not going to get a video uploaded tomorrow, unfortunately. I'll answer a few more questions, because somebody asked a good question. What's one thing you hate about fan films for Halloween? For me, it's like how much of the 1978 nods they put in them. Like, I wish they went original. Also love your channel. Thanks very much, Hannah. I think, yeah, I agree with that. All the nods to the 1978 movie are kind of annoying in Halloween fan films, but that's what they've done in the new Halloween movie. I think the worst part for me is the names that they give the titles of the fan films. They're very cheesy and just over the top. Nothing new from Arrow, Darren. I think that Arrow haven't brought anything great out recently. I know they brought out Candyman. I wasn't a fan of Candyman, so I didn't bother purchasing that, but they've not brought anything spectacular out recently. Kevin, who do I think is going to die in Still Game, Jack or Victor? I actually know who's going to die. It was filmed near my nephew, and my nephew was working with them, and they told him who was going to die, but I won't say who it is. Anyway guys, I better go before I start answering more questions. And yes, I think they should make a sequel to the Monster Squad. Maybe not a sequel, but a reboot in the style of the Avengers. What do you need to know, Justin? And Suzanne, I've not seen Bohemian Rhapsody yet. Looking forward to it though. Anyway guys, it was good talking to you. Thanks a lot for asking all the questions. That was over an hour there. It always seems like it goes in so fast. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for answering my questions. Thanks for asking questions. And I'll see you soon. Good night.